Hello, everybody. Welcome to the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers. We are here for our midweek reset, of course, with our self-care doula, Ana. And thank you so much, Charlene, for coming in to breathe with us. This is an offering by the People's Congregation to encourage you to slow down, stop and smell the roses, focus on your breath, your prana, your chi, your life force energy. Woo! Sandy's a cheerleader for yoga today. So we do this every Wednesday as an offering to the community. It's completely free. These videos will live on our YouTube page for all eternity. If you go to youtube.com/PCSM Church, that's where you can find these videos. We also have an Instagram page with the same handle, PCSM Church. We also have a bus for High Vibe Missions, and you can find that Instagram, theblissbus.com. So the point of the bus is we go on high vibe missions. So if you are on a mission to raise the vibration by way of dancing to amazing music, or maybe you're having a fundraiser, we used the bus for the fundraiser last year. That was insane. We picked up donations from so many different people, filled up a storage unit, delivered it all to Savers. We had Charlene's boys helping. I think we got more exercise than we got money, but that's okay. Live and learn. So speaking of fundraising, the holiday season is coming up. And if you were to go to our website, pcsam.org/membership, you could see several ways to help support the cause. So we are going to be expanding some of those offerings. We're going to make a cheaper monthly subscription just to support Soul Saturday. We have, of course, the $25, which supports the yoga and the breath work. So every Tuesday at 1, we have Matt coming in for Rise Up breath work during the day. And we did change the time from 11 to 1 in the hopes that that might be a little bit easier for parents and people that just have a hard time getting going in the morning, which has been me lately. So I'm grateful to Matt, I'm grateful to Ana, and I'm grateful to DJ Frantic for booking all the Soul Saturday DJs. This week we have DJ Donuts. And this is his second time coming to the altar. And he's a very eclectic DJ, a lot of EDM. You never really know what you're going to get. Like one week we had, Frank White came with his 45 records. He did an entire set of 45s. Last week we had Jay Phonic, amazing house music DJ. Like he killed it. We have DJ Ms. Isis coming up on October 18th. She is the queen of jungle. She's been out there doing this for like 30 years. I mean, we're so blessed. Like Lenore's been doing it for 30 years. Obviously, DJ Nook, Frantic himself, like, yeah, our DJs are getting old. I don't know. So we've kind of like, not in a bad way, but we have created kind of like a DJ support group for Saturdays. Of course, Trigga, he was already here. So we have DJ Donuts coming up. We have Ms. Isis. We have Manny Underground all this month. So again, thank you so much to DJ Frantic for your service, diligently booking the DJs and making sure that we have a weekly service to raise the vibration and dance. So again, Ana, thank you so much for your midweek reset. I'm going to attempt to still watch my posture at least and breathe intentionally while I film the show. If anybody out there wants to volunteer, we've had a lot of people ask, how can I get involved in the church? Looking for somebody to come run the camera on Wednesdays and Tuesdays so that I can actually practice, because that was kind of the point of this. So Ana, how are you feeling today? I have my rain boots on, even though it is, 70 degrees out, but I was not messing around this morning. And I was puddle jumping a little bit, instead of smelling the roses, I was jumping in the puddles. I harvested my beautiful plants last night and had a nice little full moon, harvest moon, ritual with myself and my plants. And it was really beautiful. Although I did get Hy-Vee. It's like really ironic that I can brush up against poison ivy and nothing happens. But when I harvest cannabis, full blown hives, it's kind of ironic, isn't it?
No, because of all the stuff that's on it. Yeah. No, it's sensitive.
Sticky, stuff.
Yeah. I sometimes get little Hy-Vee too.
Yeah. So if anybody out there is in need of some medicine, I have more than enough. If you're willing to take it and trim it, hit me up. Because the stuff grows on trees. Our plants were literally taller than the garage.
Yeah.
So blessed. So much abundance.
Yes.
And no bud rot. Although I have to say, we do want to partner with the lab. If there's anybody out there who's willing to create a coupon code for our members, I really do want to promote testing your home grow, looking for heavy metals, looking for mold, other pathogens, because like, unfortunately, especially on the South Shore, I don't know if we can really trust everything, the water, the soil. I personally live near a golf course. We do have raised beds, but those roots run deep, so I'm going to double check my medicine and make sure that, it's non-toxic. And that's very important. And that's something that we're hoping the medical dispensaries are doing and the rec dispensaries are doing for us. But you can't always count on other people. Sometimes you have to count on yourself.
That's true.
Yeah. So happy harvest, everybody.
Happy Harvest Moon.
Happy Harvest Moon. We got through the eclipse portal. We got through the full moon. And now it's like the holiday season is upon us. We have Halloween coming up first. And that's always like, don't you feel like once Halloween hits, it's like, oh my God, now it's Thanksgiving. Oh my God, now it's Christmas. It was just Labor Day. So yeah, so we are transitioning into the holiday season, which as everybody knows, especially as a parent, it can be very stressful, right? Like you're always, or you tend to be putting other people's needs before your own, potentially saying yes to gatherings that maybe you don't necessarily really want to go to, but have to. So the breath work, the mindfulness, the breathing, the pausing, all of these things really help us get through it, right?
And all of this leads to...
I even have my Christmas mug today.
The nervous system. All of this leads to the nervous system. I'm not ready for Christmas yet. I'm not ready for Thanksgiving.
Halloween. Let's just talk about Halloween.
I am ready. Yes, I am ready to slow everybody down. Okay, so what is the point of this midweek reset?
I love those pants.
Thank you very much. What is the point, right? The point we always say is to slow down, right? Because we're always going. But what is really truly the bottom line? The nervous system. The nervous system is the bottom line because we have a tendency to fry our nervous systems. Past traumas, past experiences linger in the nervous system, in the emotional body. That's what the body holds on to. That's why we continue we can continue to get triggered by things because there's still stuff stuck in the nervous system.
And that's physical pain.
It can cause physical pain, muscle tension, stress. It can cause you to hold on to your breath, not breathe properly. And how many of us are breathing properly?
That's something I talk about as women. Like, it's like, especially like I was a cheerleader, right? So you're always like tightening your muscles, you're holding your stomach in. And it was so hard for me personally to relax my belly, let it out and fill it up. Because just as women, it's like, that's just the pot belly is not really the look you're usually going for, but that yoga belly, we like to call it the
yoga belly.
Belly breathe. That's what we used to call it with my kids, belly breathing.
Yeah. So belly breathing. And how many of us really know how to breathe? So I like a breath called 3-part breath where it divides the lungs into 3 parts, the lower lung, the mid lung, and the chest top lung. And most of us, especially if we're in that anxiety type of place or like quick breathing, are breathing just from the chest area and not taking a full breath and engaging the diaphragm. So 3-part breath really helps you feel how the breath is traveling and we'll do breath of joy again to get rid of that low lung stagnant breath that gets down there. So sometimes that stagnant breath or that stagnant air that gets stuck, aside from the toxins on your tongue, cause bad breath. So it's really good to clear the lungs, and it's really good to do these actual breaths like breath of fire that we did last week. I don't know.
Maybe we should do a little series on like each of the breaths and do little videos. That should be like a goal.
Yeah.
Just a 5-minute, like when you only have 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Because it can, and especially like quitting smoking cigarettes. I know the box breath really helped me with that because when I was working at my first job, it was for the Truth campaign, the anti-smoking campaign. And ironically, most of us smoked cigarettes. But I did say if I got the job that I was going to quit. So while I watched everybody else take their break in the back alley, I would stand on the other side of the alley at 420 Boylston Street, by the way. And I would watch them smoke and I would breathe because I was like, well, wait a minute, just because I don't smoke, why shouldn't I also get a break? So I would take breath breaks. And I started a trend. And then a few other people also quit smoking. And I successfully have quit many times.
I mean, what do cigarette breaks do? It causes you, actually, there's a little tool out there that I think is really cool. It's like a little pipe, kind of like a little tube that's like a quarter of a straw. Okay. So what do people really do when they're taking that hit off the cigarette is they're going, right? And they're taking a deep drag and then until the smoke is gone, right? And then they're doing it and over. But you're putting chemicals in you. So you can actually have this same, if you have like the whole mouth, hand to mouth habit where you want to put something in, this little quarter of a straw that's like a little tube, you put it in your mouth and it's a way to breathe and can actually help, I think, cigarette cessation because it breaks the habit of you reaching, given that the whole nicotine chemical thing is a little different. But, if you're willing to get through it, That is one of the things I thank my ex for. He made me quit in February of 2005. So thank you, Brian.
Shout out to that. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah. So no, I mean, I'm so grateful for so many things, even like the journey here. I was just saying how I really wanted to extend a circle of support to women who have been through divorce, because I know what it's like and the kind of support and the kind of things that it does to the nervous system. So my point is that the nervous system needs lots and lots of healing, and that's why we're here. And that's why we provide the services, the yoga, the breath work, the dancing, the bus, like everything helps the nervous system. Seriously.
Yep.
It gets you out of your mind. Your mind creates such havoc.
Yeah.
So
get the body moving.
Yeah. So let's do box breath. Let's begin with box breath.
I'm going to go take my seat, and I'm going to remember to shut off the microphone.
I really love coming here and sharing these practices because, you're not in a studio environment. It's completely different. You're on camera, so it's not like I can walk off and you're in a just completely relaxed, different place. And it's okay that I'm in front of the camera, which is ironic because I literally don't always like getting in front of the camera, which I am going to have to get used to. But as I start to put out things into the world, into the online community, that's what's going to start. You'll probably start seeing more of my face on camera. But for now, I love our community here. Thank you, everyone, for watching, for being here, for extending your love to this community. I may not see you all the time, but I am always here. And this is like my sanctuary, coming here to, when you can't take a break, when you feel a little crazy, just coming here and just sitting here and breathing is helpful. So box breath, what is it? They teach box breath to the Navy SEALs, to the military. Why? Because they are in chronic stress mode. Anybody who's in combat, or anything in combat emotionally and physically has to in some way find a clear mind, because you're going to continue in this place. The situation's not going to change, and you have to make decisions with a calm, clear mind. So the breath comes into play because the breath begins to speak to the brain, which works with the heart too. The brain picks up and sends the signals to the nervous system to begin to calm the body. So what do we feel when we're in stress mode? Like we said, we feel chronic pain, muscle tension, we're not digesting well. Maybe the simplest of foods are bothering our stomach. We're dry mouth, we're not hydrating enough. It really affects lots and lots of things, and actually goes into the endocrine system, because you're either releasing cortisol or oxytocin, which both have major players on the system one way or the other. So that's when, if you're constantly releasing cortisol, you're not taking the time to put into calming the nervous system and doing these shifts. It's okay to be in stress, but it's also necessary to come out of it. Then in the long run, the body can only take so much cortisol. What happens? The body begins to store fat. The body begins to wreak havoc on the hormones, headaches, tension headaches, things that you were noticing that weren't there before. So hormonal problems, hormone fluctuations, and men experience this too. And also, it begins to affect your immunity. So immunodisease can come in through just not managing stress for a long period of time. I mean, the difficult challenge about this kind of work, I think, is that when we feel okay in the moment and we feel good, we think that that's going to carry through 3 months, which it may, 6 months, down the year. If you're continuing to live in a chronic stress state, in the long run, it's not sustainable and can put you in a place of disease. You can, gain weight. It can affect your sugar, how your body absorbs insulin. So you get what I'm getting at with all of this. So box breath becomes an important skill to be able to shift the breath And actually, I had a person, a student of mine asked me today who was experiencing panic attacks. And I was talking about panic attacks because I'm teaching about the subtle body, the emotional body. And when we come into this place of panic, so one of the things I think that's taught when, you know, you go into a panic attack is to grab a paper bag and breathe into the paper bag, right? So you physically see it expand and contract. The hardest thing when it comes to fighting through a panic attack is taking that first deep breath, because you feel like you're underwater and you cannot breathe and you can't find that breath. And it takes courage to catch yourself in that moment where you can swim up for air and breathe in deep and continue in the pattern of deep breathing. That's one of the hardest things to do. But if you set your mind in that space and find a moment where you can come up for air for that one breath, that's what it takes. Inconsistent breath to shift with a moment of time into a calmer state. I've done it. I've been in it. I've had panic attacks as well. So definitely when it just feels like you're drowning and it takes courage to swim up to sea level to come and get that air. So I'm with you. Box breath. Box breath, if you visualize a box, right? It's a breath in for a count of 4 and a suspension of the breath for a count of 4. Now, there's different words that you can use to pause the breath. I do not like to use the word hold. So inhale, hold, because people have a tendency to and tighten up when you hold your breath. And I just don't think that it's a word that, you know, I don't know. I think depending on what your experience is, hold cannot, may have a triggering effect to you. So just in keeping that in mind, I use the word pause or suspend to pause the breath for 4 or suspend the breath for 4 seconds, which means you're taking that breath in, suspend for 4 seconds, and then exhaling for 4 seconds and suspending the breath at the bottom of the breath for 4 seconds. So inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1, suspend, 3, 2, 1, exhale for 4, and suspend for 4. Does that feel about right? Okay. So again, we can visualize the inhale, suspend for 4, the exhale, and the inhale. So if you see my finger, I'm drawing a little square. So inhale, suspend, exhale, suspend. Inhale, suspend, exhale, suspend, or pause. Okay. All right. So we'll begin. Hands on the lap. Just taking some nice breaths in and out before we begin. To just find a comfortable seat. You can also do this on your back, any comfortable position. And let's begin inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, and suspend the breath for 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Suspend and exhale. 2, 1. Pause the breath. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, and pause. Exhale. 3, 2, 1, and pause or suspend. Inhale, 2, 1, suspend. Exhale, 3, 2, 1, suspend. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Pause the breath for 4 seconds. Exhale, 2, 1, and pause. Inhale for 4. Pause. Exhale for 4. And pause. Inhale for 4. And pause. Exhale for 4. And pause. Inhale for 4. Pause. Exhale for 4. And then come back to the natural rhythm of your breath. And just notice how you feel. Come into your heart space. And just with that breath, what are you grateful for? Begin to gently sway the body side to side when you're ready. And then begin to circle the body when you're ready. Small circles or large circles, both directions. And then maybe roll the shoulders into it as you're gently taking little or large movements. And then come back to center. Let's extend the arms up. Reach up, press the palms together, and exhale, bring hands to heart. Let's rub the palms, rub the hands together. This also helps the nervous system. So we're heating up the hands and we're just gonna cup our eyes. Just a little hover over the eyes. With a nice big breath in, a little pause, and an exhale. With a little pause and release. Inhale and exhale. Bring left ear to shoulder. Now I'm mirror teaching. And then bring the head back to center. Take the right ear to right shoulder. Come back to center. Let's extend the arms this time down towards the earth and left ear to left shoulder. Come back to center, right ear to right shoulder. And come back to center, little nose circles as you walk the fingers away a little bit. Both directions. And come back to center. Nice deep breath in, arms come up. Exhale, extend the arms down, ground right palm, inhale left arm up and over. And then switch. And come back to center. Let's walk the hands forward. Give a little hinge at the hips as you inhale, lengthen, and gently take yourself down a little bit just to feel that stretch in the hips. Just go as far as it's comfortable. You can even shift the hips side to side if that feels okay, just to give a little movement, a little settling of the body. And then if you want to round forward, go ahead and round forward. And then walk the hands back. Extend the legs wide. And actually let the knees and the legs go, kind of just releasing them. And then flex the feet. Okay, so you can go narrow. You don't have to go super wide, just enough where it's comfortable, where you're going to reach that left hand to the outside of the foot and inhale, right arm over. And then come back to center and reach for the outside of that right foot and inhale, left arm over. And then we're going to come back to center and do the same thing. Reach over. Inhale, come back to center. We're moving just a little faster than we normally do, just to bring in that movement. Come back to center and then reach opposite side. Come back to center and then reach opposite side. Come back to center. So you can do it with your arms up or releasing the arms all the way down. All depends on what you're feeling. Keep going and find just a little rhythm for a few more breaths. Last one here to even out. And then come back to center. All right, let's butterfly the legs, bring soles of the feet together. Walk the buttocks forward towards the heels, interlace the fingers around the feet, and let the legs flutter. Take a nice deep breath and lengthen through the crown. So I did a little, I was showing my class what I do when I talk about the crown of the head. I talk about, this is what I'm talking about here. So sometimes when I say crown of the head lengthens, the actual pull of the crown of the head to lengthen feels like it's coming from the back side of the head so that your chin isn't tipping up. So I did this. This is, I always say there's a golden thread at the top of the crown that reaches up towards the sky to lengthen. And so I did this. Here's my thread in the crown of my head. And this is what lifts. So you feel the difference here? The chin doesn't rise. It's just the thread to the sky. All right, so mess up my hair, it doesn't matter. All right, so let's flutter the legs. That's the crown of the head. The quick lesson. And then take a nice deep breath, lengthen through the crown. So you're gonna feel that length, right? So my chin didn't tip up. The back side of my head kind of went up a little bit. And then take the shoulders back and take a gentle hinge forward just as far as you're comfortable, keeping the spine straight. So not rounding here. As soon as you feel the spine round, catch yourself and lengthen. Nice deep breath in and exhale, hinge. Maybe those arms gently help the legs press away. Lengthen, pull navel in and lengthen. Exhale, take that hinge. And then if you want to round, go ahead. And then come back up, bring the knees up, bring the feet in front of you, hands behind you, windshield wiper side to side. All right, from here, let's swing the legs around and come to our mat so that we can warm up the spine. Hips over knees, feet can be tucked or flat, shoulders over wrists, spread fingers nice and wide. So I was saying like a little tree frog sticks to the bark of a tree. That's how you want your hands to really stick to the mat or wherever you're grasping. Nice deep breath. Take the abdomen down towards the earth. Take the gaze up to the sky, tilting the tail. And on the exhale, if there's no injury or or osteoporosis in the spine, you're going to find neutral spine or tuck in, tucking the chin, tucking the tail, and pushing the mat away. Inhale, abdomen drops, tail tilts, gazing up to the sky. Exhale, either finding neutral spine or tucking in. Continue with your breath, flowing with your breath. Inhaling as you extend, exhaling as you find neutral spine or round in. And then come to center. Let's gently take the hips into a circular motion, both directions. And then come back to center. Tuck the toes, gently shift the hips back towards the heels and press the toes. So press into the heels and then gently come back to center. Untuck the toes, lengthen that right leg, bend the knee, flex the foot, and rotate the hip. So right hip rotations or left, just be sure that you do both sides. Then lengthen again, ground the toes, and press through the heel. So option here, you can lengthen that left arm with the toes grounded, or you can lift and lengthen for extended tabletop. Pull navel in, square the hips to the mat, and then bring everything back to the mat. Shift side to side and circle again to reset. And then left leg is going to lengthen, bend the knee, flex the foot, and rotate that hip. Both directions. And remember, if you want to pause, take a break, you are still doing yoga just by breathing. Extend that leg, ground the toes, lengthen right arm forward. If you want to lift the leg, pull navel in, square the hips, and bring everything back to your tabletop. You can cat-cow here if you'd like, or circle the hips. And then let's come into a child's pose. Let's take the knees wide to the width of the mat. Let the toes touch. Shift the hips back towards the heels and lengthen the arms forward. Rest your head. Bring the heart towards the mat, towards the earth. And breathe. Remember, you can bring those index fingers, opposite index fingers and opposite thumbs to touch. Or you can just reach forward. As you breathe in, feel the abdomen fill and expand. As you exhale, let all that breath out. One more just like that. Feel the abdomen fill. And exhale. Lift the gaze, walk the hands to the right side, lengthening that left side body. And remember, when you're walking over to one side, the body is moving with you. So you are just gently bowing over that right leg. And sometimes I see this where the body's still center and this arm is trying to reach over, but the body's in the way. So you want to move the body to reach and lengthen the side body. Reach that left hip towards left heel. And then come back to center. And then walk to the opposite side. Right arm, right hand layers over left. Take that bow, lengthen right side body, right hip towards right heel. And remember, your movements don't have to look like mine. Your body is going to do different things than my body. All of our bodies are different. And that's why the practice is going to look different for everybody, and that's totally okay. That's how it is. All right, take another deep breath here. Exhale, walk back to center. Press the hands into the mat so you can press those hips back towards the back of the mat. Maybe shift side to side to create a little movement. And then walk the hands. Bring the knees back to center so you come to a tabletop position. Take a nice deep breath. We're going to thread the needle here, lifting that right arm up to the sky and weaving it underneath that left arm, resting your head on the right side, resting the shoulder, and then extending that left arm forward so you can lengthen that shoulder. If you would like to open up the front of the left shoulder, rotate that right arm behind you. If that feels uncomfortable, you don't have to do it. And then if you want to go into a balance, you can shift the weight to the right side and begin to lift that left leg up if you would like. Now remember, you don't have to do it. You can just reach back like I'm doing. You can also support. I recommend supporting and releasing that left arm to support your lift if you're going to go into a balance. You can release the balance if you've gone into it. Remember, it's not something you have to do. You can totally just stay with the shoulder stretch. And then gently lift yourself back up, extending that right arm back up and lower it down. Come back to your tabletop, realign the body. And then we take the next breath to lift that left arm up to the sky and weave it through so you can lower down on that left shoulder, rest your head on the left side, walk the right arm forward so that you can lengthen, shift hips back. When you're ready, if you want to rotate that right arm behind you, you can. And if you'd like, you can go ahead and take the balance. So you're going to begin to shift that weight to the left side. Remember, sometimes people tip over, which is just part of the practice of rolling over and getting up and doing it again. So support yourself. If you're going to lift, take that right arm, and I'm going to fall because it's, if I tell myself I'm going to fall, I'm going to fall. So as you're not going to fall, support yourself, the lift with that right hand underneath the right shoulder, lift the leg up, point the toes, stay firm in your core, and then come back. So it's a really sensitive weight shift. It's really easy to be able to like push yourself to one side and roll. I've had that happen in class where I've seen students or even myself roll off. Bring that leg back down and it's totally okay. Gently lift yourself back up, extend that left arm up to the sky and come back to your tabletop. Circle the hips around and around. And then let's come into downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, Adho Mukha Shavasana, lift the knees, lift those hips up high, and press the heart towards the thighs. So in downward facing dog, just gently walking the heels, lifting one heel after the other. Heels don't have to touch the mat. Press the heart towards the thighs. Head is parallel to the arms just as much as possible. Navel is nice and tucked. Breathing nice and deep. Then let's lift the heels up, bend the knees, switch the gaze between the hands, and then you're going to pop those hips up so you can walk the feet to meet the hands. Forward fold at the top of the mat. Bend one knee, then the other. Just releasing the hips. And then we roll up. You can slide the hands up the legs to take that gentle roll all the way up and then extend the arms up. Nice deep breath. Palms touch, palms come to heart. So let's just take notice here how we're feeling. Coming into standing mountain pose. Tadasana, hands at the heart center, shoulders back and down, navel pulled in and up, feeling nice and tall through the crown. Pulling those quadriceps up so your legs are nice and strong. Inhale, reach back up. Palms together, gently reaching back, press the hips forward, and then come back to center here. And we're gonna shift side to side. So just gentle movement side to side. And then come back to center, a little bend in the knees as we swan dive slowly down. Plant the palms, let that right foot step back. Let's drop the knee and come into a lunge. So bracket that front foot, you know, the little brackets. Or just take the hands on each side of the foot, and from here, lengthen that back leg back. Gaze forward, and you can tent your fingers here or use blocks to feel the shift of the hips down and forward. You can also place your hands on the top of the thigh to lift yourself a little higher and feel those hips shift down and forward. So you can also do that. This also takes the pressure off of the stomach if this feels too intense. All right, let's release the arms by our side. Let the palms face out and inhale. Reach for those arms up. Let the palms touch and breathe here. You can bend the elbows if you'd like. Take those palms behind you. Press through that front big toe. Reach back up. Cactus arms. If you'd like to take the gaze up, open up the chest and draw those arms back. Then inhale, bring those arms back up. Bracket that front foot. Tuck the toes, lift that back knee. And then we're going to extend and get into the hamstring of that front leg. Let's tuck the chin and gently take the forehead towards the knee. If you can make contact with the knee, go ahead and make contact. Press the knee away with the forehead. So you're kind of taking that third eye to the knee. It's okay if you don't reach. If you don't reach, just tuck in and move the body towards the knee. Breathe normally. Strength through that back leg. Draw that left hip back gently. And then inhale, lift the gaze to the top of the mat. Bend into that front knee. Bring the hands down and bring that foot back. Drop the knees. Inhale, shift the hips back. Exhale, sweep forward. Take an up dog. Tuck the elbows. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, and then press to your down dog. Walk it out. All right, so here again, we're creating space between the body and the hands to lift the heels and walk the feet with space. Bend the knees, and then pop those hips up so that you can walk your feet to meet the hands. Forward fold, top of the mat. Inhale, hands on the shins. Take a half lift here. Draw those shoulders back, navel in, tilt the tail, and then exhale, plant palms, left foot steps back, drop the knee. Again, do what's comfortable for you. You can stay in this low lunge here, or you can lift. Take the hands to the top of the thigh or the knee and gently shift the hips down and forward. Breathe, take the shoulders back, staying nice and long through the spine. And you can even kind of walk that leg back a little bit to create more space between the hips. Arms come beside you. Inhale the arms up. Palms press. Bring the hands behind you. If this was uncomfortable the first time, then you could totally skip this and then just come into cactus arms. You can also gaze forward. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, plant the palms. Tuck the back toes, lift that back knee. Tuck the chin and take the forehead towards the knee. Pull the navel in and draw that right hip back. Lift the gaze, bend into that front knee, and then we're going to step it forward. Forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins, half lift, and then root to rise. Palms touch, reach back, press hips forward, and swan dive down, forward fold. Plant palms, step feet back, and drop the knees. All right, so I'm going to leave you here cat-cowing a little bit while I show you, and you can pause if you'd like. If you're experiencing this, you're in downward facing dog, and you're not finding space to walk, and you have to let go and then come up to your mat, okay? Some people experience that. Some people have been told their arms are too short and they won't be able to walk their feet to their hands, which is not true. It's the way that you're moving your body to create the space for you to walk your feet to meet your hands. So I'm going to come back into downward facing dog. So what's happening here is that this space here is a small space for the feet to walk. So even me, right, if I don't make the space, even though I've been walking the feet for a while, I'm going to have a hard time too. So that's why I say lift the heels. As soon as you lift the heels and the knees bend, the low back rounds a little bit. So your sacrum rounds a little bit. When you pop those hips up a little higher, then you're going to create the space to be able to walk the feet to meet the hands. That's how those yogis take those large steps from one point to the other. They're rounding the low back and creating that space. Now, sometimes it just takes years of repetition, but we're cutting some time here so that you know what's happening in the body when you lift and lift the hips up. You're creating more space for the feet to walk in a more comfortable way instead of separating and then having to realign the body. Okay, so let's try that together. Take it step back, realign, find yourself in downward facing dog. Lift the heels up, bend the knees. And then you're going to feel that little round of the tuck of the butt as soon as you bend the knees. Now you're going to lift a little higher, press against the hands to lift up a little higher, and take a step at a time. How did that feel? Awesome. All right, forward fold. Hands on shins, half lift. And root to rise. Come all the way up. I found many students tell me that that really makes a difference for them. So I hope you find that difference too. Nice deep breath. Arms come up. Pull the legs, pull the quads up. Press the hips forward and swan dive down for your forward fold. Step it back. Drop the knees. Let's do a side plank. So untuck the toes. You're going to extend that right leg back and then pivot. The heels are going to begin to pivot to the left side. Extend right arm up and lift the hips up. There's your supported side plank. And then lower back down, come back to center. Same thing. That right knee's already down. You're going to extend that left leg, pivot the heels to the right side, and open up that left arm to the sky. Lift the hips, pressing yourself up towards the sky, and then gently come back to center. Find yourself in a little supported plank, half push-up, and then gently press your hips back towards your heels. Extend the arms, and then walk the hands towards the knees. Shift the hips to one side of the heels, swing the legs around so you could find the center of your mat. Ooh, I feel like I slipped all the way back there. Am I still good? Awesome. All right. Center of your mat. Hands behind you, windshield wiper side to side. And then come back to center and reach forward. We're going to take a slow descend. Pull the navel in, gently taking a slow descend. Oh, now I can put weight on my tail. Yay. Extend, full body stretch. Lengthen the arms. Lengthen the legs, and then take right knee to chest. One more breath as you flex both feet and lengthen through that left leg. And then take a full body stretch. Left knee to chest. Flex both feet, lengthen through that right leg. Full body stretch. This is wind removing pose. Bring both knees to chest, hug both knees in, and relax the neck and the shoulders. A slight tuck of the chin. And release, lengthen. Lower everything back down, arms by your side, take the legs up to the sky. And then separate the legs, little scissoring here without lowering the legs, just over one another. Don't forget to breathe. And then come back to center. Bend the knees. Take a happy baby position. You could reach for the outsides of the feet or peace finger your toes. Drop the shoulders down towards the mat, a slight tuck of the chin so you're lengthening that spine. And you can rock it out if you'd like. Or you can extend both legs if that's comfortable. So remember, you can reach anywhere the hands land. Just be sure that you're creating space for the hips to open and keep the feet flexed. You can also extend into a wide-legged stance to give the abductors a nice stretch. Breathe. And then you can bend one knee and extend, and then bend the other and extend. So do what works for you. You can find stillness, you can release and just let the legs go up to the sky and let the arms fall. Do what feels good for your body, for your mind right now. And then lower the legs down, arms into a full T, windshield wiper side to side. And take the knees to the right side, take the gaze to the left side. You can take those palms up or down, just depending on what feels good to your shoulders. And then slowly begin the transition to center and take the knees all the way to the left side. Take the gaze to the right side. Come back to center. Lengthen the legs, arms over the head for a full body stretch. And let's transition with arms by our side to Shavasana with box breathing. So take a nice deep breath into the count of 4. Begin your suspension and then exhale to the count of 4 with the suspension at the bottom of the breath and continue in that pattern. And then find your natural breath, the ebb and flow. Giving yourself the reset that you needed so that you can finish this week strong. Come back into your heart space so that you can connect to what you're grateful for. And remember, the hardest thing is arriving, and you are here. You did it. If you're feeling any tension in the body, just shift and allow the body to feel the gravity of earth draw you into her so that she feels that she can support you. So feel supported by the earth. Allow her to do that for you. Slowly, we begin to deepen the breath and bring gentle movement back into the body. And remember, you can stay here as long as you would like in the comfort of your own home, or you can transition with us. You can take a full body stretch or bring knees into chest. When you're ready, gently rocking. And then rolling over to one side, cradling your head for a moment. And then walking yourself back up to seated. Meeting me seated with hands at the heart center. Softening your gaze or closing your eyes. Let's bring our prayer hands to our third eye together to remind us to think kindly and compassionately. Let's take our prayer hands to our lips to remind us to speak our truth with that kindness and compassion, and to our hearts to remind us to live in the fullest of our intentions through love, gratitude, and joy, creating lots of inner wisdom with courage and lots of grace. From my heart to yours, namaste.